Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Benayah Ben Israel. And y'all willing, in this short video, we will show you how to use My True Ancestry to find your closest DNA forefathers. In other words, fam, we will show you how to tell your granddaddy from your granduncle. Hallelujah. All right, fam. And with that, let's get started. All right, fam. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you have already taken a DNA test with either Ancestry.com or 23andMe, and if you have downloaded your DNA results and then uploaded your results to mytrueancestry.com, go ahead, family, and open a web browser and feel free to follow along, because I'm just going to show you in this quick video of how to use My True Ancestry to find your closest DNA relatives. Hallelujah. In other words, like I said before, fam, how to tell the difference between your granddaddy and your granduncle. Hallelujah. All right, fam. So go ahead and log on, fam. And just for the FYI, for those of you who may not be familiar with My True Ancestry, basically, fam, what it allows you to do is it allows you to take your very own DNA and compare your DNA to DNA extracted from old archaeological sites. In other words, fam, at some of those archaeological dig sites, they are able to extract DNA from the ancient remains of the people that they identified at those old archaeological sites. The beauty of this, fam, is that this will help tell you definitively who you are. Hallelujah. All right. So with that in mind, fam, like I said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take you over to the logon page. So if you open up your web browser, just go ahead and type in mytrueancestry.com. That's mytrueancestry.com, as you see on the screen. And it'll take you to the logon page. And fam, if you already have an account, go ahead and put in your logon credentials. And just give it a few minutes, fam. And once you log on, it's going to take you to the results page. Now, as you can see on the screen, fam, this is your results page. And I'm just going to take you through just a few of the menu items here on the top. I'm not going to go through every single menu item, fam. Like I said, this is just a short video just to show you how to use this site to identify your closest ancestry. All right, fam. So with that in mind, just take a look at the top, fam. You'll see it says results, civilizations, populations, royalty, DNA testing, and fact. And for the purpose of this video, we're going to take a look at the results, and then we're going to take a look at civilizations in a little bit. Let's just look at some of these other menu selections here at the bottom. It says analysis summary, maps globes, regional archaeogenetics, haplogroup analytics, DNA spotlight, saga timelines, PCA plots, genetic social groups, and additional features. All right, fam. So to get started, fam, let's begin by clicking on analysis summary, right? Analysis summary. So let's click on that. The very first thing that comes up, fam, is a view of your ancient populations. That's your ancient population. If you're wondering what this is, fam, you have to keep in mind in DNA, at the end of the day, family, all they're doing is comparing your DNA to someone else's DNA, or they're comparing your DNA to another set of DNA, right? So that's all it is, fam. And when they compare your DNA, fam, they're checking to see if it's a match and see how close it is to that DNA sample. That's all it is, fam. So with that in mind, fam, depending on which button you select on this menu, will determine who your DNA gets compared to. Let me say that again, fam. Depending on which button you select on this menu, it will determine who your DNA gets compared to. That's important, fam, because there may be one population in one group that you're close to, that you're very close to. However, that same population that you're very close to may not be in the other groups. All right, let me show you what I mean, fam. So let's take this ancient populations, for example. Now, when you click on ancient populations, let's take a look to see who your DNA is being compared to. And to view those populations, we're going to go up to the top where it says results and then go over to where it says civilization. So let's click on that to see who your DNA is being compared to. Now, when you click on civilization, it's going to give you a list of population groups in alphabetical order of who your DNA is being compared to. And as you can see on the screen, you can see groups such as the Aboriginal Australian or the Al-Andalus, right? And if you have your web browser, fam, already open, feel free to check out some of these groups and read the summaries and the background information associated with these groups, fam. But a few of the groups that I want to highlight, fam, let's scroll all the way down to the bottom to see the Yoruba. So I want you to see that the Yoruba are part of this group. However, let's take a note of who's not in this list. And for that, let's go back up and let's look for a group called the Limba. Because, fam, a lot of so-called African Americans today are closely related to the Limba. So we'll want to know if the Limba are part of this group that we are comparing our DNA to. So let's scroll up to the L's to see if the Limba are in this group. And as we get close to the L's, fam, here's the L's. And as we scroll through here, fam, you will see that the Limba are not in this group. You see it, fam? All right. And let's also take a look to see if the Igbo are in this group, because some African Americans, when we run our DNA, we have Igbo show up in our ancestral group. So let's take a look at the eyes. Let's see. And as we scroll up here, fam, you'll see that the Igbo are not part of this group. All right. With that in mind, fam, what that means is that when we run our DNA or compare our DNA to this group, we are not going to see the Igbo and we are not going to see the Limba. And that's important because, fam, what that means is that we will not be able to see if we are closer to the Yoruba or if we're closer to the Limba. In other words, we won't be able to see if the Yoruba are our great granduncles or if the Limba are our great granddaddies. You got it, fam? All right. So just to drive the point home, fam, let's go back up to the top of our menu and let's click on results and let's go back over to our analysis summary section. So let's click on that, fam. And so it's going to take us back over to ancient populations. And as expected, you don't see Limba, nor do you see the Igbo. In other words, fam, you may not see your closest modern day genetic ancestor. You don't see your genetic grandfather. Instead, you see your genetic granduncle for many so-called African Americans. Which is why, fam, this is not the view to use when you're attempting to find your great-great-great-grandfather. Instead, fam, you need to use a view that has both Limba and Yoruba in the data set. And for that, fam, we should use the modern population view, which has both of those population groups inside of it. That way, fam, you can tell which one's your great-grandfather and which one's your great-granduncle. Hallelujah. Now, don't get me wrong, fam. At the end of the day, we are family. However, you need to know that you are closely aligned with the house or tribe of Judah. Hallelujah. All right, fam. And before we wrap up, fam, let me take you to one other section in this results page. And for that, fam, let's click on the analysis summary link to close out the section. And let's drop down to where it says maps and globes, right? So maps and globes. So let's click on that, fam. And when you click on it, it's going to open your ancestral globe. Now, fam, feel free to poke around and click on some of these different links to take a look at the information that's in there, fam. However, I want to take you to the place that will be useful for you if you're just getting started with mytrueancestry.com. So when you come to this globe, fam, you can actually use your mouse to move around the map. If you have a wheel on your mouse, you can actually use that to zoom in and zoom out. And you can actually left click and drag around the map. And you also have these sliders, fam, that will actually rotate the map for you. You have one on the bottom and you have one on the right hand side, which actually move it up and down. So give that a try, fam, if you're just getting started with mytrueancestry.com. And like I said, fam, the beauty of My True Ancestry, fam, is that it will show you that you indeed have connections with Spain and Portugal, in places like Granada, Spain, or Lisbon, Portugal. It will show you that you indeed have connections with Germany, or actually in France, or in England. Most I will, and we will review our history in England. And if you haven't done so, fam, I encourage you to check out the Black Germany video, fam, which will help explain some of these dots that you see over here in Germany, as well as some of the dots you see over in Hungary. So go ahead and check that out, fam, if you haven't already, and also compare that to your results to see if your results line up with the history of the Bavarian Jews. And of course, fam, I also encourage you to check out your matches in Africa, because when you do that, fam, you may be surprised to see where your matches are in Africa. For most African Americans, you'll find that you have more matches in East Africa than you have in West Africa. And so what that means, fam, is that your history, your roots are over in East Africa. Hallelujah. But most High willing, fam, we'll shed additional light on that, fam. But for now, just remember those two links if you're just getting started, fam. That's the analysis summary link and also the maps link. Remember, analysis summary link, when you first click on that, it's going to take you to the ancient populations. And what we said before, fam, is that when you click on that, the people who your DNA are being compared to in that group does not include the Lemba, and it does not include the Igbo. However, if you go over to where it says modern populations, if you click on that, that population group does include both the Lemba and the Yoruba. Therefore, you can see which one is your great granddaddy and which one is your great grand uncle. All right. And then last but not least, we talked about the maps and the globes. That's a good place to start to look at where your DNA is found around the world. And of course, I encourage you to check out the Black Germany video for some additional information on both Germany, Hungary, and also Russia. All right, fam. So with that being said, fam, hopefully that answers some of your questions about My True Ancestry and as far as how to use those two links. So stay tuned, fam, for more videos to come. And so stay blessed, Israel. Talk to you later, and shalom.
I'll be honest, I came into this village and the first word I heard was shalom,
yes.
A Hebrew word.
Yes.
How is that possible? How is it that the Lemba are speaking Hebrew?
The Lembas are the original Hebrews, and they were scattered, as you know, and they crossed into Africa. So they were scattered all over. So in South Africa, in many parts of South Africa, you find the Lembas who are actually Hebrews.
Hebrew. So the Lembas claim to be descendants of ancient Israelites?
Not claim, they are.
They are?
They are.
Okay.
We are the original African Hebrew. We are scattered all over.